Welcome back to Unapologetically Mercy. It's your girl Mercy back on the ones and twos. In this video, I'm briefly just going to give you a 6-month update because your girl is officially 6-month locked in. So I want to give you just a little bit of an update since the last time we talked back when I hit my 3-month mark. And so I just wanted to share what I have noticed in that 3-month difference. So let's just dive right on into the tea. The first thing that I will say that I have noticed about my hair now that I've hit the 6-month mark is the fact that one, my hair length has not changed at all. Like that shrinkage, I underestimated the level of shrinkage one will experience while embarking their microloc journey, especially in that starter lock phase. Like I knew, shrinkage was going to happen and that'll be a part of the process, but to the level and the extent that she has been, maybe it don't make no sense. Like I feel like I might have like some length growth up front, but like back here, like how we still rest ruling and abiding, right here. Like what's going on? It's not like horrible shrinkage or anything like that. It's not like, oh my God, I hate this journey, I want to cut it off or whatever the case might be. Like, no, it's not that extreme for me. It's just something that I've noticed. And if I want to try to give myself a little bit more length, like I mentioned in previous videos, I would just go ahead and do a little two-strand twist. And I also do notice that when I do my wash days and I wash my hair and I'm doing the braiding and banding method, when I allow my hair to air dry, it it be a little bit longer, you know what I'm saying? Because of it being a little bit stretched out when I'm taking it out of those braids. But then as it dries, it shrinks up some. Second thing that I have noticed is that I have less frizz. Not to say that it is gone completely. Shawty is still there. Shawty is still doing her big one, right? But it's not as crazy. I know from about like the 2 to like the 5-month mark is when my frizz was really, really prevalent, especially after I would wash my hair. That's when the frizz would really just be like, hey, how you doing, girl? Did you miss me? And I noticed not the last wash day, which was like the other day, but like a few weeks ago, I noticed that there was less I noticed that there was less frizz. She's still there, she's still present, she's still, like I said, she's still doing her thing, but it is starting to reduce itself. So I don't like that. Also, another thing that I would like to mention, don't be like your girl. Don't be like your girl. Don't be like your girl. Do not, and I repeat, do not go longer than 6 weeks in between retying your hair, especially if you do it yourself. Like, do not go over that 6-week mark. You know what I'm saying? Like, I ain't gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. My last retie I did a few weeks ago. I believe there was like 8 weeks in between me doing my reties, and I only really pushed it back those 2 weeks because I was like, I don't want to say I was lazy, but like I kind of was lazy, but also life was lifing, and like I just didn't have the capacity, the energy for real to like, oh, let me take my time to do my hair for the next like week. You know what I'm saying? I didn't have that capacity. I really didn't. But I started to really notice, again, this is another thing that I'm noticing also, the increasing sensitivity of my scalp. And I knew that it's something that you will experience as a microloc girly, but I really was noticing that, in that in between time, and like the new growth was new growth in. And I just was, I did not like how it made my hair feel. I really felt like it could snag off and at any given minute, and I don't like that because I don't want that for me. I want healthy locks as they're going through their phase. And that's one thing I just won't do anymore. Now, I can't say I won't do that ever again, like, you know, once my locks have matured, you know, but that's like a little different. But at the same time, this is the one that I'm realizing this is one of those things about the microlock journey where it's like you gotta be on point with your reties because of how small that they are. And you know, the longer and longer that they get, the more tension and pressure that is being put on, you know, those follicles of hair that is in that one individual lock. And you know, that just will lead to more breakage. You know what I'm saying? And I ain't trying to do that. So just like I said, don't be like me. It's your warning. Like, even if you are not going to touch your hair for like an additional 2 weeks, like, don't do it. Just don't do it. Stick to that 4 to 6 weeks in this beginner stage. Okay. Now I might tell you something a little different, you know, when I'm mature. But until then, don't be like me. Okay. Okay. The next thing I will also mention is I don't experience as much unraveling on the ends of my hair. Now, I think I mentioned this in my 3-month update video, but I've noticed a significant decrease since then. Like, there aren't many twists that I have to twist back after I wash my hair. So like I tried to explain in the last update video, the twists, especially at the ends of my hair, that they're still there, but it's like they're merging into one, or they are one, and they haven't like fully locked and they're doing their, you know, the budding and all that kind of stuff. Or it's just I don't have to worry about it unraveling. Like, there's enough dead head strands that it has worked its way down to the ends where it's not going nowhere. For example, you see the frizz. You see her, the frizz. Hey, frizz. And as you see right here, the twist is, you really don't see, hold on. You really don't see the twist pattern for real anymore. I mentioned in my last update video how the top part of my hair, if it's not completely locked, it is more firmer and it is getting closer to that maturing stage compared to like the bottom, and that's across the board really. Besides like the back, like there's a few in the back that I really feel are like almost there, which would make sense because that's typically the first part to really like lock. But see how you can see here? So like here, for example, it looks like a lock. Got a bit of new growth. Yeah. But you can see the difference, how it's like more firm up here and giving more like a lock, and then once we get to this part, it's still that bouncy twist. But that twist no longer gives 2 strands, it gives 1 twist. That's, yeah, that when I say that this is the perfect example of what I be meaning. It's like 2 strand twist has formed a twist, and as you see, the frizz, the loose hair on the outside is, you know, doing its thing so that it can help that part of the hair lock like it did up here. So yeah, that's that one. So I hope that makes sense. You know what I'm saying, what I was trying to say. But now also let me show you the back. See, this one, I believe it's still very much bunching, in that bunching process. Not all of the ones back here are still doing this. Some of them are, some of them aren't. Like, some of them, I feel like they're more of a lock than a twist, or they have completed that bunching phase. I'm trying to find one. This one right here. might. But I hope you can just from looking at the back of my hair, you notice the difference between what I was showing you in the front part of my hair with like the twist. They give more of a lock than a twist anymore. So these are getting closer to maturing compared to the front. So I hope you can see. Because I remember this one at one point, there was like a bunch, like it was bunching, or they were just like this, not a bubble, but like, yeah, like I feel like this one is like smoother now compared to like this one down here where it's still going through some transformation. I feel like this one, you know, she's still transforming, but she not like the other one. Also, my last thing that I will say is that I'm starting to notice a little bit of growth in my struggle areas in the front. So up in this area, particularly in these rows, is where I experience a lot of like slippage just because of not being a lot of hair there. Whether it was from my relaxed days, my parting days, whatever it might be. But like they are now, these two specifically on this side, these two, I don't have to continue to retwist anymore. They have actually grown to a point where I can retie them. Now, for this part, you know, we're still working on getting her improved. But like as you see, when this is, I think this is this row. This is a good one, and then she goes to Struggle City. But, you know, I'm starting to see that happen on this side. I hope, can you see that? And then on the other side, whew, my arm. I wouldn't say there is as much success. There might be like one, yeah, like this one right here. I don't have to constantly twist that when I'm retying my hair, but there is still like up here, up this front part. But one thing that I have been like nervous about doing is like trying to retwist those parts up front that unravel, just because I want to make sure I'm keeping my parts straight. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to constantly manipulate my hair, so I just allow it to be how it is until I get to my next retie. You know what I'm saying? Like, will that process change? I'm uncertain, I'm unsure, but as of right now, that's just how I've been like letting it go. Once I wash my hair, that typically is what happens after I wash my hair, and I tend to wash my hair every 2 to 3 weeks. So I just let it rock out and then just wear my hair like this so it covers it up until then. So yeah, that's really my update. That's really my tea. That's really my spiel. I really haven't done much hairstyles. I really haven't taken much pictures of myself just because the last few months life has been lifing, and one thing about me is when life be lifing, I don't be on the interweb for real, like showing myself or whatever the case might be, or taking pictures of myself, just because I just haven't been in the best headspace. But we are coming out of that phase. We're coming out of that phase, and we have been, you know, continuously allowing ourselves to transform, continuing to allow ourselves to grow and evolve and shift, because that is the time period and that I am going through, and I will talk about that in a totally different video. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and stay tuned for our next update. I really haven't done any hairstyles like I mentioned before. Only one I have done for real outside of this hairstyle is the 2 puff balls in the front. Like after I retied my hair, I did that. If I have a picture of that, I will try to make sure that I include that in here. But let me know in the comments down below if you have any questions, comments, or concerns about you starting your own microloc journey, or wanting me to answer any questions in regards to my microloc journey. I do plan to do a video soon on my wash day routine and whatnot, now that you have seen the spray that I use, the DIY spray. I'm about to end this video because my little light keep going out and I don't know why, and I'm not even nowhere near the little button. But yeah, let me know in the comments down below, you know what I'm saying? And that's all for your girl. Until next time, you guys stay blessed with peace, one love, and high vibrations.